Captain Stringfellow Kingfisher here, having a meal while he has a bath. This is like getting a plate of steak and chips while you're in the bath, emptying it into the water around you, and then having a little wash, and eventually taking a chip out of the water and eating it, perhaps taking a bit of steak and eating that too, and even a bit of salad, just like Captain Stringfellow has done with this fish. A very efficient use of one's time, bath and dinner at the same time. And even better if you can do that on a date. Imagine the sort of time you'll save. Another breeding bull, this time a wildebeest. He had his carrot-shaped lipstick out there. In fact, it's still out. Look at that. And he's very upset with anybody who comes anywhere near this cow with whom he is trying to make love. She is trying to walk away from him, which is making the love-making very difficult. And I imagine he is quite frustrated, not only with the fact that his beloved is walking away from him, but also the fact that everyone in the whole herd is attempting to watch. Now, the fact that he has got a huge audience during this ordeal has in fact resulted in some performance anxiety. And as you can see here, he is very much struggling to perform. Poor fellow. He looks rather embarrassed. I mean, if ever there was evidence for rhino's myopia, here it is. Two rhino walking in amongst a veritable herd of lions. And the mother thinks to herself, something's amiss here. And her son says, what is it, Mum? She says, that grass smells strange. It smells a little bit like rotting meat. I agree, Mum. I can't see anything either, though. I'm really not sure what's going on. Well, keep an eye out, dear. Mum, I can't see a damn thing, you know that. None of us can see a damn thing. But this grass does smell very strange. And now I get the sense that something's just run behind me. Phew, maybe we should move along. Yes, let's do that. Gorgeous afternoon here in the Winter Lowveld. Oh. Now, we've all probably, maybe we haven't, had this feeling of you're out for an afternoon run, you come around a corner and suddenly there's a gang there waiting to mug you of your cell phone. That's what's happening to Barry here. This gang of thieves is trying to steal Barry's cell phone. Now, Barry is not prepared to hand over his phone because, well, Barry hasn't gone running with his phone. And it's that tricky thing where you're telling the truth to the muggers, but the muggers just don't believe you. Give us your phone, they say. And Barry says, I didn't bring my phone with me. Who runs with a phone? And they say, we know you've got your phone or your bank card, and we'll take your PIN number. And Barry says, I don't have either. And this is what happens. This is the great quandary you face when you go for a run in the evening. Do you take your phone with you and then deflect gangsters with it? Or do you not take your phone with you and risk a potential mugging turning into a murder? This is the question that you must ask yourself whenever you step out into the streets if you happen to live in a dangerous part of the world such as Barry lives in. From the mayhem of the mugging, we go to the soft and gentle light in the Kalahari Desert, where three wildebeest appear to be eating sand. But are they eating sand? Here we have a wonderful example of how humanity and animal have come together to create magic. The wildebeest are in fact licking a salt lick, which was placed there by some very generous human beings hoping to take pictures of animals such as this wildebeest during the last light of the day. Oh, this time not a Sunday lunch, but in fact Monday afternoon at the kitchen table, post-nursery school, Mum has murdered a wildebeest and slapped it on the table, and the kids who've come home after learning their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s are nourishing themselves on some fresh wildebeest carcass. This one is very satisfied with his lunch, and it's been a day well spent for a little lion cub. He's learnt how to spell his name, S-A-M. Now, there is some conflict in this family, and that is because although the children are learning to write and count, their father has never learnt to write or count, and he is very resentful of this. He finds that his wife's obsession with education is unnecessary, although a piece of him feels that he wants his children not to have to go out onto the streets and rob and kill in order to make a living. He'd much rather they were in an office, but at the same time he feels ashamed that he can't spell his own name, C-A-T.
2 vultures in the Masai Mara, one flailing its wings, white-backed vultures on a carcass. What kind of carcass is it? It's a wildebeest carcass, and there are a lot of flies, thousands of flies, and they're enjoying a bit of a meal, bit of a fight, and now thousands of vultures, and marabou storks, Ruppel's griffon vultures, white-backed vultures. Is it the same wildebeest carcass? There's a hooded vulture in there. I don't know. Could it possibly be the same wildebeest carcass? I'm sure that there are millions of flies now. The carcass is shortly to be eviscerated and carried off.
Now, I am no scientist, but we seem to have come through a wormhole, lost some time, because suddenly a gentle meal for 2 is a meal for 1,000. There are Ruppel's griffons, white-backed vultures, marabou storks, and even hooded vultures in there, all devouring this once very peaceful meal for 2. It is a little bit like having a horde of rioters descend on an exclusive Michelin star restaurant in a Parisian street. There you are, having a lovely meal with your beloved, when suddenly a whole lot of hoodlums come wandering down the street, decide they're hungry, and, well, eviscerate your meal in front of your eyes. I hope it never happens to me, although living where I do, it's quite possible it will.
Oh, now although rocket cats look like gentle beings, here you can see that they are not. They are also misogynists. That is a female cheetah on the road, and she's been set upon by 2 larger males who are cowardly and not very nice to her. Why are they doing this, you might ask yourself? Are they simply upset with the way that gender relations are being portrayed in the popular media? Or is there another reason? There is another reason, and that reason is those 2 little cubs which belong to the female, and perhaps the males are threatening the well-being of the little cubs. Naughty males, brave lady female. Off you go, into the bush. Ah, here we have Hamish. Hamish wants desperately to be on television, and so he is performing for the camera. The problem for Hamish is that although he does want to be on television, he's also quite shy. And so he's going to have a little milkshake, and thus fortified, will reattempt his audition. Here he comes again, demonstrating, I wouldn't say an enormous range in acting skills. He's kind of got the ears out charge down pat, but that's all he's got really. He's not very coordinated. It's not like you could he's got the sort of gallopy charge down as well, but I wouldn't say he's got a very pensive look. I don't think that his sense of tragedy is particularly impressive, so maybe he will be like a sort of one-dimensional comedy actor, a little bit like Adam Sandler,
before he did that rather impressive diamond film. I'm not sure if you've seen it.
Yes, I think so. I think in limited range of acting skills here, very much just sort of the chargy, looks quite funny, stick my ass in the air, look how funny I am, kind of look. He's got farce down, comedy down, but really not great range.
We seem to be observing a small leopard cat. This is a very tiny leopard cat that is attempting to climb like a monkey and is doing an admirable job of such.
Now I see what the cameraman was going for here. He wasn't actually trying to film the Land Cruiser there. He was trying to film the leopard, who I now understand was calling her cub down from the tree.
This can only end in one way, with da 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 da. Oh, that is a very unsatisfactory end for the lady leopard. You can see she didn't turn around and try and swat the male in the face, which means that his performance has been less than satisfactory. For if his performance had been satisfactory, his barbed penis would have caused some discomfort as it was withdrawn. Now she is going to prevail upon him to make another attempt. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.